back to Timberborn and our update 7 Let's Play. And before I start the game, a few things to go through from the comments last time. The first one, this is partly a question for those of you that know, we have our pressurized freshwater pipe here, and as it comes through the, I hate the fact that the layers thing resets now. As it comes through the sluice here, it's only got one edge technically to fall down, and someone asked if that would limit it because it's a strength 4 water source, whether the waterfall limit would apply. I'm not sure because it's a closed pipe, it's pressurized, and there are 2 edges for it to come out of, so I think it's okay, but I'm not certain. So yeah, open for suggestions on that. I then had the brilliant suggestion that once we, and you'll see some of this has been reset already because I went around and did them as people suggested. Once we've got fresh water flowing through this, we can reset this to be on automatic, and we just need to manually open it when the bad tide ends. So have done that until we've at least got this set up properly. And then most of the rest of the problems are over here. So we have a bunch of unbuilt supporting structure, and I think what we're going to need to do is help the beavers get underneath it now, because the terrain has been built over the top and they can't build through the terrain. So we'll set that up. And the other problem was these were set, did have the close above downstream depth set, which means that there is a bunch of bad water trapped in here. Now I've been and cleared those off. And you'll see I've done that for both of these, but that means there's a load of bad water trapped in here. So I've turned them off of automatic, and what I'm going to do is manually open the bottom one to let that out, because I don't want to contaminate all these beavers. Also reconnected up here so that the beavers can get here more quicker. So what we're going to do is put a ladder here, or stairs, sorry, we don't have ladders on this save, and then stairs here, and then I think basically what I want to do is get them access to this level, and then we can run a path all the way along the substructure. And I think from watching JC play, that will let them build it. And then we're going to prioritize the substructure, and hopefully we will be okay. I originally thought that we would have to blast all of that out when I looked at this, but watching JC deal with similar things, it looks like as long as you can get to it, they can build it. And that sort of makes sense from stuff that I've seen done, where you can build into gaps in terrain. So the other thing we then need to do is come under here, and drop down and get back up, so that we can run along here. And if I reset that, we'll then put a path under here, out here, and that will in theory really really help, but also allow them to prioritize building the substructure and get that sorted. So that's going to get that going nice and quick and address that problem that we had. So I think that was most of the issues that we had. There was one more, which was the missing dam piece from down here. I believe that was it. We probably actually... Oh, we've got a drought approaching. That's good. Going to increase the number of workers that we've got in there, because now we've got rid of the scrap metal from here. We could do with increasing our metal production, probably. Yeah, awesome. That's filling up. That's filling up slowly. So the other idea that I've got that I want to get to at some point is we have the problem here where we get flooding. There's a bit of bad water in there from where it came around before. That'll be fine. And one of the suggestions I had was to use sluice gates. So put sluice gates at every height transition to control the amount of water. We could do that to get water flowing through this. The alternative, because it would kind of look cool to get that back. Interested in your reviews. The alternative is we tunnel from the reservoir to out here, and we have sluices here that just allow water to flow from up here into here. They both achieve the same effect, essentially. I just want to check the height. These 0.8, that's okay. Yep. Cool. So yeah, that's kind of what I'm thinking. That's sorting that out rather nicely. So they're now getting that all sorted. Excellent. Good stuff. That's resolved that issue. Should help with getting all of that built. And in fact, so we've got 1.8 days. The other thing we can think about with a drought coming is this guy. And actually, someone did point this out, that we have a little bit of a risk here of water, bad water flooding into the cove. And in preparation for the fact that we're going to be blasting a hole through here to drain out, because when this stops flowing, this is going to still be full, and we're going to have to cut a hole in here and dump a whole load of bad water out to get in to put the rig in. I'm a little bit worried that excess flow will flood. So I'm going to come in here and block that off. So there's a whole load of jobs that I want to get done as we have a drought on the way. So there's this one, and we can also think about the pipe that we've been putting off building, that we're halfway through building for the bad water over here. But we will wait for the drought to kick in so that this isn't spewing water out, because it'll just be messy. Yeah, so yeah, we've got a few building projects to kick in 0.6 days. So let's just speed up time a little bit with the old 30 times mode. And the drought will hit. Everything will start to dry up. go. So this, I was going to say I would leave for a bit, but actually it's going to take a very long time for that to dry out. So we've got a few projects we need to get done. I think the first thing I want to tackle actually is this one, because it's been on the job sheet for a while. So let's come down here. We want to tunnel a bit further. I think we want to tunnel within one of the bad water source. And I'm going to open up that like that. Yep. Let's delete that. We'll delete around it so that we've got kind of freedom of not having to work around what we had there before. Every likelihood we'll end up rebuilding a bunch of this stuff, but you know, that's fine. Let's get some priority in there, and probably you. You can see them destroying it as we go, but yeah. Right, let's detonate that. So what we want to do here, I'm pretty sure, is put in something like we've done at the other water source. So that there, that there. These actually probably want to stay because we probably want to put impermeable floors over these. So then what we want to do is get levees around that. You don't actually need to be there. Then we need to steel over the top. Can't put dirt over the top. How did I do? How did I do this one? I used dirt actually. I think I can make it smaller. Maybe I can go. Yeah, I can do that. And then if we do that, bear with me. And I'm going to fill those in. And what we'll do is we'll dynamite this out. Not that we have water flowing through it particularly, but I think it'll look better. And then impermeable floors through there. And I'm going to terrain over that. Actually, what we'll do, let's delete out this, that. Yep. We'll put terrain in there. There. Yep. Like that. It's a shame we don't have some sloping terrain blocks that we could put over that. all of that. And let's prioritize that. Actually thinking we take all of that out. That just becomes a natural straight shot. Guess we don't need those. Yeah. That. Put the staircase back there. That. There we go. I like that. They have to stay. And I'm just going to leave those ones down there as well. Yep. Awesome. So if we can get that built, probably if we want to get it built quickly, we actually need to super high prioritize it. Because the project over to the side is higher priority. So actually, if we demolished that, we'd gain some planting land. Because I suspect over here, they are making some level of progress. And then in here, we just have tons of water, which is awesome. And then what we need to do is come in here. We'll queue this one up as well. We're going to come up here. We're going to cut a hole into here to drain this out. We are potentially going to get some contaminated beavers because they're going to have to tunnel into a volcano full of bad water. But needs must, I'm afraid. We will also get this mess cleared up. Hopefully we can get this done and that'll be pretty awesome. Let's get some explosives put in there. We will delete that bit of path because there is a zip line that they can use to cross that until we get the new thingy built in its place. And then, no, you are 1%. No, you are 5%. So you should be closed. You should be open. Awesome. And then you need to be a dam with a path on. There we go. And you need to be a high priority build as well. And then there we go. That should be sorted. Minor concerns about contamination. That's why I've set this up so that this should fall straight away to the bottom of the tunnel. We'll just have to see what happens. It wasn't too bad with it being a pressurized system and there being contamination in there, so we will see. We will see. Right, on to this job now. And let's get in platform path. We're going to come to there. We need a little bridge. some prioritization going on. And yes, I know I could achieve this by deprioritizing the other project, but this is how I like to do things. And we want to come in there. Pretty sure. Oh yeah, about there. If we tunnel through there, then that should drain that out. So a bit more prioritization. There we go. And that, folks, will let us put in the bad water rig, which will remove us running out of bad water, which hasn't been a bit of a problem lately, but might be longer term. So, yep. And that is progressing very nicely as well, which is awesome. And it's going to significantly change the map, because this is obviously our permanent, semi-permanent bad water source. So particularly if we can start to tame some of the other bad water sources. But what I would like to do, for example, with this one, is do what we did over here and have this one so that during the bad tide, rather than draining out here, it drains off the map. But job number one, and typical, they've gone to bed, is to tunnel out this guy. And thankfully, it looks like maybe only one beaver is going to risk it with infection, because it's just a case of finishing building it now. But that does mean that potentially these can go away, assuming we can get that built. Assuming we can get the rig built in time. Run away, little dude. Haha, awesome, he made it. Right, let's... There's no reason they should need to go in there for a little while. We can just let that drain out now. Do its thing. While they continue to work on this. And we're now not getting any problems with the terrain overhanging, which is great. They've got plenty of dirt, which is good. Hopefully we should get this finished before we see a bad tide. Looks like that has emptied out already. Yep, so water, we have plenty of science. Bad water rig, yes please. Path. And let's make that a high priority build. So we need 400 gears. We have the gears for 200 treated planks. We have the treated planks. We do not have the metal blocks. So hopefully we can get enough metal blocks in time. If we delete those, we will recover a few metal blocks. So, but yeah, that's we've got some bad water stored up. So let's go all in on that. And I guess if we don't get it done, we're going to be a bit screwed. But hopefully we will. We might just need to up our scrap metal production even more. Let's come over here and throw some more beavers into the mine to get that going. And yeah, let's hope we can get this done in time. Probably we should prioritize picking that stuff up. Yeah, awesome. So we can get that done, and then we're very close to having this done. And that will be, with that done, and this pipe done, assuming I haven't screwed it up. It's a big assumption. Let's just double check that while they work on that. So sluice gates are set, they're not ticked, and then that just drops all the way down. We've got impermeable floors on the top, and it runs all the way out and off the map. Only thing we might want to do actually is close this hole up just in case the bad water decides it wants to come out of there rather than out of the rest of it, and guarantee there's going to be issues with how they build that. So yeah, as long as the top gets sealed, I guess it's okay, but we'll see. Speaking of seeing, 25 metal blocks to go in 15 days. We should be absolutely fine. Let's turn the speed up a little bit, and just need to bring a few more gears over as well. Oh, we are pretty much done. There we go. That just needs to be finished being built. So I'm going to reduce that back down to, let's go with 5. There we go. So our Lido is now out of the water, but we've only got 15 days left. So not too worried about that. Not too worried about that. It'd be nice if they'd come and finish building that, but that's good. It's not too far to the storage, and this holds quite a lot anyway. So, yep, I think we'll be good with that. And obviously, that means we will not have bad water flowing out onto the map during normal temperate weather, which is going to be cool. That will be a significant change to how things go once someone comes and finishes building it. Come on. There we go. And we probably don't need 5. Yeah, that's probably enough. We'll just keep an eye on it, but 2 is probably enough. So they're going to be mainly working on finishing this up. I would guess, which means they're mainly going to be working on finishing the understructure up and then the dirt. So I'm really torn on this as to whether we go for sluice gates and have water flow through here, and this way, or whether we come through the reservoir. If we go the reservoir route, we could just make this go all the way down and just have a sluice gate at the bottom. Now, there's not really a lot of benefit in having water in here. The only benefit would be is if this holds a lot of water, but we don't need more water. This is holding more than enough. So, yeah. The only thing I can think of is if we wanted to expand the population and maybe avoid using bots completely. Question for you, because normally my next thing would be to go bots, but maybe we don't. The other option is we expand the population enough that we can reduce the work hours enough that, and therefore, and expand the population so we can expand the industry, so we can reduce the work hours enough so we can get the well-being really high. That's where I was trying to get to. So yeah, curious on your thoughts on that as to which approach we take. Do I go with avoiding bots for a change and just try and push well-being really high by duplicating industry so we can work less, so they've got more leisure time, whilst trying to clean the map up, because that's my real goal. I want to be having bad water not be on the map, which is going to be quite a lot of work actually, because there are a lot of water sources that need dealing with. Obviously this is the main one that we're working on. I'm just going to speed time up a bit now so that we can get this guy dealt with rather quickly, because once this is dealt with, we'll then move on to the next project, which I think is going to be just working around the different water sources. Either we go around the different water sources and we work on removing those ones that are causing us problems. Probably some easy well-being there as well. Things like scarecrows, bulletin poles. But there's all of the fun stuff we haven't done. A lot of the fun stuff we haven't done or aren't doing well. Like our dance hall's there, so why can't I see the dance hall? It's there. So yeah, there's a lot still to do to develop. Is the Agora still ground only? It is, but we can game that a little bit. This is still working because of the idea you guys had to surround it with dams and water. I'm not worried that we're wasting water. We've got loads of it we can mess with. I mean, we could, with 10 days to go, the thing we could do for swimming pools is just looking for an easy place to put a ladder down. we could go like that. And it's the easiest to square up. Or isn't it? We could do something like well-being. We got rid of those bits of path. We need to leave a gap to get around the staircase. And then maybe we do a few more there. Well-being. Like that. Path. Like that. There we go. Just get those built nice and quickly, shall we? Just because that'll give them a bit of a boost. And that's no bad thing, is it? No bad thing. And these should stay for hopefully the rest of the cycle. I think. Thanks and logs, we've got loads of those. We should be good. Should be good. Could we get another one in there? Yes, look at that. Actually, let's... yeah, and we'll make the path to it a little bit shorter. There we go. Many Lidos. They get more Lidos as the water goes away. Yep. And probably we should, because we have some job gaps. That I think needs to be double platforms. And we should put in some more housing. Oh, there we go. Decoration. There we go. Yep. Then you could come along this way even a bit more. Yeah. Heck, you could even have another Lido. And I know it won't work until the drought ends, but that's fine. And over here, how are we doing? Excellent. So it should just be a case now of lots of building dirt. So I'm going to put it into hyperspeed mode. Hopefully we can watch these guys quickly get this finished. And that'll probably be it for today, folks, because not been well over the last few days. And not feeling super up to recording a really long video, basically. So, yeah. They clearly have been prioritizing the bit that I prioritized, which was building the understructure, because I wanted to avoid the issue we had of them building terrain before it was supported. But we've got past that. We've got 6 days left of the drought. We are good for most things. Looking, we could still do with growing a bit more wheat. So let's just fly over here. Yeah, when we're picking all of the wheat that we're growing. So in terms of farmland, we could farm a little spot there. Yes, it seems kind of needy, but why not, eh? Why not? How are we doing for sunflowers? We've got a reasonable amount, so maybe we wrap out some of these sunflowers. I'm going to go to there. Going to prioritize placing those explosives, and we can plant a bit more there. Yep. All right, back to trying to get this done. It would be really nice to get this bit finished. Did I put in? Yeah, I did. Cool. If we can get this finished, I will be very pleased. I'm not going to put a top on it because we did talk about the idea of putting the water wheels on here for generating power. Obviously, it will only generate power during a bad tide, so it's kind of temporary power generation. What might be worth doing is putting gravity batteries off of it, because it'll give us an invisible power store. Or maybe putting windmills out along here, so we could turn it into permanent power generation by covering it in windmills, and we won't see them because it'll be hidden. So that might be a better option. Let me know what your preference is again. Lots of windmills out here with some grav batteries hanging off the side, or water wheels with grav batteries, and bearing in mind water wheels will only get power during the bad tide. I'm flexible either way, but let me know what you think. And again, let me know what you think about the bots versus much bigger beaver colony. I am, again, flexible either way. And interested in what your thoughts are as to how we tackle progressing this Let's Play. Bearing in mind that I will probably want to wrap this up around the release of Update 7 proper. And that is that done, and perfectly timed as the drought ends. So we no longer need you. I will leave those there because we might want them, and I'll leave that connected for now. But as the sun rises and things will start to repopulate, going to be nice that this isn't going to be contaminated. The other thing that we probably should be doing, getting out to the edges of the map and blocking these up. Oh, actually, what I think might be interesting to do, if we can quickly, is, will it let me? I think there's a piece of path there. Yeah. Throw a stream gauge there. Don't know if it will measure it properly, but I'm just curious because there's no other water sources there. Is to see what the CMS is coming through there once there is flow, obviously. It might be better if we blast that through. In terms of having a current, because it's vertical current, not horizontal current. I don't know. say the water's coming out vertically, and these can't measure vertical flow, so yeah, maybe a bad idea. Anyway, I think we'll call it a day there. I think we'll call it a day. That's refilling, not flooding. Good. Just takes a bit of time to get the water through to there, and then through to there. Right. Good stuff. Thanks for watching, everyone. Hope you have enjoyed the video. If you have, click the like button, all of that stuff. Thank you to the patrons and the YouTube channel members, and I will see you all next time.